Good evening, everyone. The time is now 5:17, Thursday, November 21st. Board of Commissioners meeting in session.
Start with the reading of the Open Public Meetings Act as required by NJSA 10.426, known as the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was provided in the following manner on December 6, 2023. Notice of this meeting specifying the date, time, and location were transmitted to the Star Ledger, El Paso, Luso Americano, and to the clerk of the city of Newark.
Okay, Madam House, one lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, we give you thanks and praise you for numerous favors and blessings you shower us. We ask that you will continue to guide us. We gather for this week, and we ask that you will open our minds and give us wisdom to make the right decisions for our people, and that you bless us. And bless us. Amen.
Commissioner Washington, one lead us first read.
I pledge allegiance
to the
to the
flag
flag
of
of the United States of America,
to the
to the
republic
republic
which
which
stands
stands one nation under God,
indivisible, liberty,
and
and
justice
justice
for
for all.
all.
Roll call, Commissioner Carter,
Present.
Commissioner Council,
Present.
Commissioner Washington,
President.
Commissioner Hall, Chairman Logan.
Present.
You have a quorum. Public participation in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. The Newark Housing Authority opens every public meeting for comments of the public. Each person choosing to speak at the meetings will be limited to 5 minutes to speak on any subject on the agenda. All speakers must state their name and address for the record. However, in accordance with NJSA 10.412, nothing in the act shall construe to limit the discretion of a public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation at any meeting. Therefore, please be advised that the Newark Housing Authority will not entertain any comments from persons who communicate obscene material, make statements which are considered bias, intimidation, in which a person intends to intimidate any individual or group because of race, color, religion, gender, handicap, sexual orientation, or ethnicity, or makes comments intending to harass or speak in any offensive language. The person who makes these statements will relinquish their allotted 5 minutes for public discussion. Any person who persists in speaking out of turn or interrupts the peace and order of the meeting will be escorted off the premises. Our first speaker this evening is Ms. Kim Burns.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ms. Barnes, 147 Riverside Court, first and foremost, I would like to thank the executive director, vice chair for coming down and taking to get back to the meeting. According to the question that was asked, our rent property having even back. It was stated no. The Phoenix Group is coming in 2025. So is that a discrepancy? Is it not coming? Secondly, I would like to say that it was stated that we don't have a deed. Okay, I keep my townhouse as about needed, but if there's certain things that need to be fixed, that housing is still responsible for. That comment was like, it's not my house, but treat it like my house because first and foremost, I'll say it as stabilization of the project also because I grew up, I know how it is. So my thing is now I also direct without labor that I work hard, I work really hard for, work and every day. Maybe especially for we had burden of the cat. Them people they really help. Because first and foremost, as he said, we go back to the basics. They need to go back to the basics of parenting. need parents to skill classes for these parents. Let's open the door and show their kids outside. Okay, we all know right now it's Thanksgiving time. I had so many residents in my office in the last 2 weeks. Are we getting turkeys? No. I did it by the family side this year. And whatever is left, I'm gonna give it to the other. I recommend my board, each of our to give back to the community. But first and foremost, I am a Muslim, and I've been, by being Muslim, I support that other, the forward. And that's what's in my heart to do that. My thing is that we all need to come together to stop different things, because you have you have lovely housing, you have all of us divided. We, I'm on TV staff yesterday too, because first of all, there was a event that took place with one of the founders of attended council. We was not ready for that. We was not there to give her something. And as a council, we all come together, each and every one, to discuss issues and concerns. So why wasn't we not involved in that? That really bothers me. It really do. Just like we had solution. Presidents about that either. We have to stop being divided and come together. Okay, because Trump got something in store for all of us. All of us. Every last single one of us. And I still say that I want our commissioners to come and sit in a meeting. I had already had Ms. Washington, already had Logan. I need to see Ms. Carter. I need to see the council. And people are not answering the phone. At Section 8, they're not answering the phone. I have been calling them all week long. I don't have a technician that I can get in touch with. Who is that point of contact person? People are coming to the residents and coming to me. I need recertification. I need my police. I called out there, there's no answer. And yesterday totally wasn't no answer on the phone. So what are we doing here? Let's take accountability. Y'all want us to take accountability? It's for everybody from top to bottom to take accountability. We can't do no accountability if we step it. Everybody needs to take hold. Not just the NHA, the residents as well. Because I've been telling them to. And I have to do it.
Next speaker.
Ms. Annabelle? Ms. Annabelle?
No answer.
Okay. Ms. Murray Brown?
First thing I want to talk about, Mrs. Spicer, in reference to helping my sister at another location, but there's an issue. Y'all passed a resolution for these contracts coming in through some apartments to get people in, right? Why did you check? What is on our apartment? If you got a water leak in the bathroom of a city, I have the pictures, I'm gonna show y'all later. You have a pipe that needs to be closed up, nobody's gonna come in. The door is too hard. All Holly, and pictures to copy, that right. The response was, tell her to go downstairs to the manager, the worker. Stop her. You put a contractor there, it should be good for her to move in. We shouldn't have to go to the manager to put another worker in for what a contractor got paid for to do right. Now it's problems on the manager that doesn't have to do. I don't think it's fair. But anybody, so that part it wasn't right. We need to check the other ones. Y'all paying all these people all the time, and you're not doing it, because now I'm saying, she gotta wait, but she it was only the water is bubbling. That's a water. The pipe up here was cold. What's gonna come through? I'm not talking about rolls running through people's houses. We're giving them access. I don't think that's fair at all. So, I'm speaking on her behalf, she's supposed to come. One speaking to, I told her, it's some of the people, all of them. The other question is, in your report, the housing questionnaire information, page 3, you put that you have 7 commissioners. This next one, this paper went to her. Y'all said y'all had 7 commissioners. It's not 7. I see 5. Well, are we doing it right? We don't know. And again, we do have to come together. Everybody is accountability. It's accountability. No, it's not Burger King. Had it your way. Thank you, Mr. Spicer. That's your favorite spot to eat, like Burger King. But you can't have it your way neither. It's got to be all of us collectively. He do have responsibilities, but we need to come and get it right. You know, with next day. When the city condemns a building, you have voucher notices. Voucher notice has to be removed. They have 90 days for it. They're told they will not get extension after January if they don't find anything. They will lose their voucher. Don't tell me y'all gonna do that to those people. It's not their fault. This landlord is not taking up and fix it, but needs to be done at that property. That's not fair to the people that, yeah, they choose the voucher, but I didn't choose for the landlord not to fix stuff. You stop your payment, but I got to keep in to live in the rat hole. I don't know who meets with the landlord once they come back. If the city, you're meeting with them, let them know their responsibilities, what they do to the people. We are everybody people. The mayor, we're his people too. Some of us might not go for them, some of us did. But at the end, you're supposed to help everybody in this city. You're supposed to help all the programs in the states. We shouldn't be treated like that. Again, the staff. It's rudeness at the department. Again, I don't know how many trainings you're gonna do, how you gonna sit through, but some people got big heads, and don't listen. If it's not a bad place, they need to go. It's simple as that. They're not helping the people. Or we're helping the people to make it better. This agency is not successful. Still a mess. Still a mess. Once success, we got to get it right. Anybody got to be accountable. Tenants have to be accountable. Employees need to be accountable. We got to hold the new commissioners accountable. So we all got to work together. Like us or not. Put that stuff aside. Put your personal vendettas aside. Let's do business. This is a business, he said. No, it's a business. So in the business, you might not like me, but I got to do this business. You get things done right, make it successful. Thank you.
Barnes.
You.
Let's see what I feel.
Commissioner Brown.
All right.
Lahana Doty.
Here.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Joey Mahoney, and 575 Highland Avenue. Here, last month, yes, some of you heard me, we sent TGI to my house because I had complained about black mold. Also, I mentioned that I did a heat last month. Now, I know you all paid the rent that is agreed upon, and I'm supposed to pay. But I don't think it's fair. I spent literally a week, 24 hours a day, for a week, and hat, hoodie, 2 blankets. My apartment was colder in the house. I thought I could deduct some money from my portion, and I was told Monday I can't. What message do we send you to the landlord? Because that's exactly what I have. That's the first one I have, second one I have. I'm here to tell you this. Okay? This is broke because when there's an emergency, explosion, flood,
And somebody has to move out ASAP, so they no longer have to be a safe environment. You recommend us to go to welfare, you recommend us to go to agencies to see who can give us security to find an apartment. They'll all tell you by March, they're out of money. So for the next 7, 8 months, we got nowhere to turn to. The agency should have some type of fund for emergency, not everybody, because not everybody's an emergency. But if there's a fire, there's a black mold, in my case, people have to move out, or I'm forced to living there. I'm there 9 months extra because I can't afford to move out. Because I borrow from family and friends, because my first one landlord won't give me my security. He owes me money. I had to hire a lawyer to get my money, because when we went to court last month, this lawyer came in with some fancy words and had my case thrown out. So I'm fighting for my money. Got to come up with a system that you can help us, not leave us in the same position we were in. You all go home to your nice houses, backyard. We don't have that privilege. I gave up living in Newark County. And I had a beautiful apartment, management was great, both of them. But however, I moved, I thought I was bettering myself. I've done the opposite of that. I'm living in a health hazardous condition. CGI came out. This 30th of this month will be a month. This landlord hasn't lifted a finger to clean the basement. I can show you pictures. The floor is blacker than your lamp. I'm living and breathing this every day. I have to leave windows open, but yet I'm supposed to put the heat on. So it's like throwing my money out. It's not fair that the tenants have to. You're giving me some landlords permission to treat us like crap, okay? Because there's no sanction on them. You sanction a couple of months, you need to cut them from the program. I guarantee if you cut 1 or 2, the word would get out to all the other small landlords. They got to ship up. We're trying to get everybody to live healthy and correctly. The tenants, if we take care of the apartment, we shouldn't have to be treated like this. I don't treat my apartment like, it's just an apartment. I treat it like it's my home. I want to live comfortably. I want to breathe comfortably. I don't want my landlord to get rewarded for treating me like crap. And that's what y'all do. Because you're not cutting him from the program. If he's got 5 tenants, and he's got 10 properties, this problem also falls on the governor, it falls on the mayor of Newark, it falls on everyone who's given him then permission to come in, buy up real estate, put paint in there, and treat it like art. Would you like your mother to be treated like this? Or somebody in your family? That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Goldie.
Marquise Aquil Lewis.
Not fair.
Cheryl Sims.
Not fair.
Alif Muhammad.
Good evening. Name is Ali Muhammad, esteemed citizen of Newark, president of Ali Muhammad Media School. I've educated over 5,000 kids and sent 2,000 to college. I'm here for 2 reasons. Number one, there's a big pressure on me to get back on this board. You can explain it. The second thing I'm here because it's anniversary, first year. Smile, man. Good. You know, he's making. You know what I mean? So anyway, what's happening is his anniversary. This is 1 year. The board, the housing authority is set up to make mayor of Newark picks commissioners. Everybody on this board is Team Barack. You understand? Everybody. Team Barack, Team Barack. See, when I was on the board, they thought I was Team Barack, I was Team Newark. Difference. What happened was, this time, Pat Council had enough sense, no use in trouble status, probably gonna get taken over. It's to hire Spencer, Spicer. Spencer got one person, Spicer, Spencer Spicer. He had enough sense. Now he might get off more than he should, because he's not no joke. And what happened is, it saved us from being taken over. The mayor wanted Jeff Dawson. Some of y'all know Jeff Dawson. He used to be a manager. He wasn't even a good manager here. Back to school. He had a lot of credentials and stuff. He's very well spoken. And I think he's running 100 unit in New York, so he's the EP. But the mayor wanted Jeff Dawson, but that man right there had enough courage to say, if we do, we're going to lose it. Because it was bad enough they did Victor Sorrell. That HUD told him he's not qualified. That the guy, only got 100 units and wasn't a good and make it. So this was a great move. So what happened is a group of with the maintenance men got together, about 15 of them, had a meeting called my main man. I went to vote and questioned about my question. All the tenants was there. They get back on the board. So I can't get back on the board. I got another idea. Okay, so stop that. Somebody talking about they're gonna do 5,000 petitions. But I'm put me back on the board. I'm in his butt right now. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to tell you about Spicer. He is what you call a regular. His job is to take care of business. He's more like a corporate. He's not going to lie to you. That's a good thing. But you got to give him a chance. You got to understand what he came in on. We were really, really in trouble. And he didn't realize when he was sitting in the tall tower on Mulberry Street that we was in that much trouble until he got here. So what I'm saying to you, you got to give him the time to get us out of trouble status. So what you do in the hospital, you get him out of intensive care. Then you get in there and medicate him. You got to give him the time. I know he's not a personality guy like me. You know what I mean? But he knows his stuff. Let him do his job. I'm not asking everybody in the house. I'm not talking to y'all. Because y'all all got jobs. Y'all here for money. I'm talking to the people in the house. These cameras fall 30 away. You need to go watch it. It's horrible. You can't even see it. And I was the one that started this transparency, and it was an IT guy that used to hook up right here, and it was clear. You can't see nothing on here. Every time I watch it, 5 or 10 minutes. So the good thing, guys, listen, that's me around. But you gotta be a regulator that's gonna take care of business. This is the first time that the mayor didn't pick the ED, because generally you pick the council, the commissioners, and the ED. And what happened in the last 10 years in this housing authority is Rob Barack's fault. Now, I got another idea. I'm talking about mobilizing the housing authority politically. Now, Pat had 1,800 votes. Could you imagine if we take Preston and all the rest of them, we outvoted? Do the right thing. And that's what we do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help mobilize the housing authority into a political arm. And we're going to go after to make sure y'all get things done. Thank you so much. And we'll be back until another year. Well, it's my song.
Take Sean Nicholson.
Nicholson? All right.
No.
Want to close and stop?
I would trust. Evening. Good to see everyone. It's been a long, busy week for all of us. Long night, long day. The job doesn't cease. And that's okay. Just to address a few items that were brought up this evening. As always, the housing authority of any entity is surveying the land, paying the things are, and adjusting it according to what the reality is. Right? And part of that, as we said long times in the past, is replacing the management agent for our RAD properties. However, before we can finalize anything, the board has to approve it. So as I said last month, which I will continue to say now, because the board hasn't approved it, I may have the vision for something, I may have the feeling that someone needs to go, something needs to go in a particular direction, but until you approve that, it's just my vision. So I stand by the statement at this time. The housing authority has a management agent that runs our RAD properties. The housing authority feels that it's not the best model to use, and we would like to pivot, as you all see in our resolution before you. Again, that doesn't affect anyone who lives at a property. When we took back the 3 06 properties, also known as the Roseman properties, the management agent swapping out didn't affect anyone there. The lights didn't change, your lease didn't change, you being able to get inside your home did not change because there was someone different in the office. The rent was still due on the first, the work order number was still the work order number, your life didn't change. Instead of being Mary Sue, it was Tom. Right? Newark Housing Authority didn't have anything to do with any founding members of the TA. There's been nothing that the Housing Authority has sponsored, co-sponsored, anything of the sort, period. So what goes on in the city, goes on in the city. What goes on in the county, goes on in the county, but it has nothing to do with housing. So I'm not sure what that was in reference to, because there's nothing come through this office as it relates to. As most people are aware who are at properties, the supervisor should be a lawyer. So if someone can't get in touch with their clerk, when they're a housing and technician specialist, there's always Ms. Lloyd. But equally so, they can always check the file, ACD, or what kind of trouble. We have hired contractors, have tenants contractors to turn vacant units, focusing on our senior buildings first. That was something the board approved a number of months ago. Like any place, if there is a problem with what the contractor did, you have to have a paper trail, which means, yes, you need to call your property manager for them to be able to work order. So we can then take the work order to the contractor and say, you did this work, the tenant is saying this is deficient, you need to go fix it. So yes, it is the manager's, it is the property manager's job to manage the property, no matter who comes onto the site. When an elevator goes down, the elevator technician notifies the property manager that they're going to be there to service the elevator. And the property manager keeps documentation, which the elevator technician has to leave with the property manager. We're not expecting the property manager to go in and service the elevator, but if the person in charge of the site needs to know what's going on at your site. That is part of the property manager. Again, that's our side. So again, we just need people to convey to the manager so then the manager can take the appropriate action. Everyone needs a paper trail. The board, according to our bylaws, the board consists of 7 commissioners. The current composition is 5, which our bylaws also state that there has to be at least 4 commissioners. Period. The bylaws, which the state charter also says, 1 appointee is from the governor's office, 3 appointees come from the city council, and the other 3 appointees come from the mayor's, the city council has to approve. So that is the composition of the board and how those are effectuated. I like to be succinct in what I say to make sure that we don't get things too confused. What I heard happen was someone came to us a month ago and said they were living in subpar conditions, and an inspection happened within a week, if not weeks, to ensure that the conditions in there were at no point in time at the executive office or by help been notified that black mold exists. I understand that oftentimes people see something and we think it's mold when it's actually mildew. There is a specific definition of black mold. There's a specific definition of mold, which then becomes harmful to someone's health. So I try not to jump into things of that nature because I'm not a licensed or certified inspector. But there are specific things for that. The state does not allow individuals to withhold rent unless that is into an escrow account. So we cannot say you didn't fix my refrigerator, so I'm not giving you $50 on the rent because I feel it cost me $50. That's just not what the state law allows. That's just landlord-tenant matters, right? But as always, which ACB has said to anyone, if they are living in a situation that they feel is not habitable, it's contingent, they don't request. And then they are able to take that option. Our federal funds that we receive do not allow us to give discretionary dollars to individuals. So it would be nice if we were able to say, hey, something happened, here's an extra couple of dollars to go do that. But that's not how we're funded. So if I don't have the money, I can't give that to you. Right? And that's when we turn people over to various services within the community to assist them. Again, I have to balance, and we have to balance what we would like to do versus what we can do. And sometimes those things don't always mesh, right? But we do our best to ensure that we're doing what we can do in the parameters that we have to ensure that people have the options to choose whatever they would like to choose, right? As always, if there are comments, concerns, or people have better ideas on how we can do the audio video in this room, I'm always open to it, as long as it doesn't involve me executing any contracts or any compensation. So if individuals want to help out to make it a little bit better, I'm always open to that. Again, that's not in the budget. So consultant for audio video is not in the budget right now. But if they want to help me out, then I'm always open to help. But hey, we're rolling into the holidays. There's a lot of change. We have the various subcommittees of the board meeting in the next 2 weeks. So a lot of the information that you all are probably hearing on the street, we will give formal documentation in the next week or two to kind of go through that, give an opportunity to roll through it and have our normal back and forth. So we can start to plot the path for 2025 with the House of Representatives. On that, if I can sit down, unless there's any questions from the bishops.
Yes. Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
One, just three things. One is on the apartment piece. First of all, thanks for the explanation. I would have thought it would be wrapped around just like that. That is our responsibility to hold the individuals that we are contracted with to do it. But just for house purposes, the arrangements around the work that they were supposed to do. If you can relay that again, because obviously I think when it goes into other kind of deeper repairs, when people are talking about leaks and pipes, I don't think that's what we contracted them for. But it was for replacement of the kitchen, the bathroom, so if we can please provide that again. And then this whole notion around Section 8. I know we have the folks here. At some point, they have to take a hard look at their organization if they want to be around, as it relates to Section 8, customer service, and the continued amount of complaints, not just from the people that come to these meetings, but the relentless amount of calls that people get, looking for some resolve around it. But I do want to point out that one, the city has never condemned the building, so that thing that people are putting out there in this instance and what they're talking about, I don't want to give up the name of the facility, but that facility was never condemned. And there's only one authority in this city that can condemn a building. It's not even fire. Fire can say that a building is unstructurally sound, but the rights of condemnation formerly under the old system in the city of Newark when there was the Department of Neighborhood and Recreation Services, that authority went to the Director of Neighborhood and Recreational Services. Since those departments were split up and has now become DPW and the Department of Recreation, Cultural Affairs, and Senior Services, the authority has moved to the engineering department. Hence, the engineer would have the authority to condemn a building. Even a mayor cannot condemn a building. So that authority rests upon that person to say that this building is no longer habitable, right? In the instance that there may be issues in buildings, right? That's when code enforcement steps in as an abatement organization to provide violations and information to what is happening in that building and gives the owner, based off of law, a time period to abate said issues where reinspection has to take place based off of any prior inspections. And so when all of those things happen, then they're either in court facing those violations to a judge and getting remedy there, or those abatements are fixed and still in court to go over what abatements were fixed and what abatement still has to be done based off of whatever fines or assessments of revenue that has to be taken. So if someone is issued a Section 8 voucher, given an opportunity to explore or look for other apartments, and then there's the issues around where do you find security deposits. I'm not suggesting, but I would think that if I'm in a bad situation and I know that I can petition some court to put monies in an escrow account, that it would probably be to the person's advantage to want to do that while they're in search of another apartment and saving their dollars from some kind of slumlord or landlord who was not doing the right thing, so that at one point that when you get those dollars that you need and find the apartment that you need, that you would take advantage of trying to transition to somewhere that is better. Now, the unfortunate part about that is that I heard someone say that it's the mayors, the commissioners, and other folks' fault, is that there are types of properties in these facilities. Some of them are private properties that individuals own themselves, that the mayor didn't sell to them, the commissioners didn't sell to them. And because of capitalism in this country, they have the right to produce commerce and sell and trade. And there are some people who own property who, for some reason of them own doing, sell their properties as is to these same kind of individuals who go out and convert these things and do the kind of things to become slumlords or unworthy actors of tenant, landlord relationships. And those are the things that, we continue to fight over and find out about. But we have to have all of the resources that we need in our tool belt to know how to respond and to react to some of these things. And, our Section 8 people do have a large part to play with that again, in terms of going out, inspecting, making sure that we're not participating in some of the outlandish stuff that is happening out here, where people are moving into some of these places knowing that they're not prepared or ready, and some people are giving them that hindsight to do that. So that was important there. And then the third piece was around how are we dealing with the movement of these apartments, right? If we said there was supposed to be 180, 200 that was supposed to be done by a specific time, I'm not sure if we're at that deadline yet. I know it was 30 and 90 days that we've given them. So if you can sharpen my awareness to that. But are we 1-to-1? Is it 2-to-1? Are we moving new people in? Are we transferring one, keeping one there, transferring two, keeping one? What is the movement in which those things are happening as it relates to the people movement in these properties?
Touch on that. I want you to give me a wait till you.
Yeah, I'm done. Yep.
Okay, join me, Mr. Thomas. So I'm gonna have Mr. Thomas touch on where we are in the grand scheme of those 252 units. I'm gonna touch on the where we are with leasing those units. The housing authority had a substantial wait list of individuals that were on an emergency transfer, an approved emergency transfer list, or administrative transfers. So there were people that were living in conditions that we agreed, it's bad, you need to go. But we didn't have any place to move them to. Equally so, there are other people that had issues that were related to their human conditions that you had to move out for us to fix it. And moving someone to an apartment for 6 months because we have to do your whole unit, this is cost prohibitive. So what we have done first is address the emergency transfers. If we agree that it's an emergency, we need to move, right? Secondly, if there's an administrative transfer, if there's something that the agency feels you need to be moved for because of the condition of the unit, we are addressing those. Those are just about done. Now, we will start to, when I say now, in the coming weeks, we'll start to pull from the witness, which we already have family problems, to start bringing people in from the witness, from our family witness in particular, which we have been doing. Just some areas haven't had as much success in people accepting things there. But we can definitely dive into that and talk about some strategies we have to keep in mind in 2025. I want to give the floor to Mr. Thomas to talk about where option 1 and block are in the process.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Other than 250 some units, we are currently in the last 31, which is 120, 130 Dayton Street, 46 Evergreen, and we're doing 2 High Court, 1 and 900 Franklin. But some of those properties have both vendors in the same property. They have big units. So our balance is 31, and we should be done. We're trying to push them to 31 and be done by the end of the year. Before they do.
So we met the required deadline with those individuals, right? And again, the things that they were supposed to rehabilitate in the apartments were what? Because I don't want people to say they're supposed to go on the ground and do plumbing work.
No, right.
Right? The contract, they're re-plumbing.
Exactly, right. So you think about your house, right? You have a contractor come in to redo your kitchen, he redoes your kitchen. Now, 6 weeks later, you find out that above the kitchen is the bathroom, and it's leaking, then yeah, you gotta punch a hole in the wall to fix that leak. The contractor isn't gonna come back in and fix your ceiling at no charge. That was the misconception. You hire them to remodel your kitchen, they remodel the kitchen. If you didn't get a leak afterwards, you gotta fix that leak. So no, it's not on them for any work that we find that's behind the walls. That's on us. And the scope of work, I'll have Mr. Thomas give you.
Commissioner Hart?
I just, also echo the council on this section 18, because, keep coming back all the time. If you have an agency that does with the section 8 thing, and you hearing, from the residents about things, this slumlordism that seems to be going around. The section 8 people, don't you have to deal with this? The inspection, how do you fix something like that? For the city, is it for a section 8 department? So, because I keep coming back all the time for us, people complain about it.
Is there a specific reason why phone not being answered? I mean, I know we had that problem a year ago. We were supposed to upgrade the system. We upgrade the system.
That was the thing. Someone have Julie or Philip come up, whatever one wants to, neither one wants to. So, okay, I'll call you.
Still saying we having problems with no one answering the phone.
Sure.
What I specifically heard, and I heard, was that this is an issue that's going on this week, and we've had no phones this week. The phones at our office are completely down. So if it's specific to this week, we have no control over that at all. If it's in a long-term plan, we have not, the supervisors are all there. We have We monitor the phones, we watch, we see what's going on with the phone, we make sure that the volumes are on the phones, for the staff to make sure that they're answering the phones, the phone's in the ringing and not answering it, we're addressing it.
Have we had an upgrade since you've been there?
We had changes in the phone tree, yes, since we've been here. And it seemed to fix what the issues were, because we have the way the phones are working, we have the phone, they go to the main receptionist, and if she's not there, it goes to another person. So we have a phone tree going on. We also have staff that get their calls going to them. And if they're not there, then there's bounce to where those calls come. So that's
The
on
problem with the phones this week has been rectified.
not as of today.
Not as of today.
There's been had no phones at all this week. When you call our office, we can't call out and we can't accept calls in.
Thank you.
Chair, I have a question.
Why? Why?
Okay, so at the last two meetings, I've been asking about Halak, I believe. So he's back on our resolution list for us to approve him. Okay, so again, I do understand that he does not have to hire NHA laborers. I get that. But he stood here and he said that he would. Now, and then the one that we had, the one NHA resident, the one out of the 7,000, and then he went down the street and then he laid him off. So I'm not sure if he's going to bring him back. What I don't like is that Mr. Khan sent people to my office and said to come and see me. I don't hire and I don't fire. Is Mr. Khan here now? No?
No.
No. Okay, so will he consider rehiring or hiring, at least give me 2, give me 3, give me something? Will he consider this? Or did he just stand there and say that to, appease me? I don't know.
You're saying that hirees aren't from housing authority,
Okay, so,
not from the building
right, okay.
they live.
So it's 12 and 9. I believe option 1 had 12 and Falak had 9, something like that. Maybe it's, vice versa. But the one NHA employee, that he did hire as a laborer. Okay, laborer does not need a PhD, to handle, garbage. Where are my residents that he said that he was going to hire? My job is a resident commissioner. So I need to know, okay, before I vote here, I need to
Mr.
know.
Chair, I just want to notice that the commissioner is stating the interest of the company in wanting to look at, possible employment opportunities for individuals in housing. Not directly where are, or that the commissioners are inferring that this organization should be doing, but is suggesting that when they spoke to the possible vendors before, that they would look at those individuals that may be qualified to be able to do the kind of work, based off carpentry or whatever. We know the different kind of things about laborers and stuff like that.
We're not saying that they have to hire. We're not saying, we're not putting them in standards. But we're saying that
Opportunity need to be made available.
What we did originally was we had a topic. And then Jim,
As long as we can't control who comes and who doesn't. What I can do, is ensure that there is another job fair after the holidays. And we can track for you all how many of those individuals that show up for our public housing residents. And I think that's the best way to ensure that there's an opportunity for individuals to apply for the job. Now, my numbers show that currently there are 4 NHA residents that are working for Falak and or option. But again, I don't know. The intent isn't to needle you on, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. In either case, we're talking 0.002%. I don't think that does anybody justice to try to go through that. The intent is just to move that forward, is have a job fair, see the people, bring their credentials and interface with them, and go from there.
Thank you, ED. We would appreciate it.
Good. If you all are right, then
Go ahead.
You're good.
Thank you, sir.
we could continue down the agenda. We have the item for approval, the October 2024 board report. Question?
A motion to move?
Second.
Motion second. Commissioner Carter,
Aye.
Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk, Chairman Logan.
Yes.
Item is moved. Our second item is the October 2024 forward transcript. Are there any questions on that item? Any unreadiness on that item?
Motion to move?
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, Commissioner Carter,
Aye.
Commissioner Council.
Yes.
Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk. Chairman Logan.
Yes.
Okay, those two items are moved. At this time, I would ask the board to consider going into an executive session.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Any abstentions? Okay. You can gavel us to a close at 6:10 for executive session.
10, executive session.
Palmer.
Okay.
Test. Test 1 2. Test. 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 Test.
Now, now, yep.
Test. 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 Dude.
Yeah.
Test. Test, test.
Keep talking because it's a delay.
Ah.
Just keep talking 'cause it's a delay.
Oh, test, 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 test. Test. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3.
You got the draw on the way?
First of all, observance of all. 2,
Time is 6:45. We entertain a motion to come back into session.
Motion.
Second.
Unanimous consent, any?
All right.
So moving into new business, resolutions, HQ4-14-1101. The Newark Housing Board of Commissioners authorized the executive director to award up to 78 project-based vouchers and execute housing assistance payment contracts with 4 developers and property owners identified through a duly publicized request for proposals, RFP 24-S-0114, for the provision of affordable housing units to permanently house individuals and households experiencing homelessness and earning extremely low income, 0% AMI, in accordance with federal regulation at 24 CFR 93. Any questions? I have Mona Richardson to provide answers.
Well, you want to come up and say hi to us? Yeah, sure. Good evening, how are you?
Oh, well,
Good. Right, questions?
Good evening, everyone. Clarnella Richardson.
Yeah, nothing else?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, sir, yes.
Vanilla, welcome to Newark House.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
There's no one readiness, so I need a motion.
Motion, second.
Commissioner Carter,
Aye.
Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk,
Yes.
Chairman Wilson.
Yes.
Moving right along. Resolution H24-14-11-04. Resolution of the Newark House and Authority Board of Commissioners hereby approves the designation of the Newark Phoenix Group as the management agent to perform leasing and management responsibilities for the RAD properties owned by NHA RAD 1A LLC, NHA RAD 1B LLC, NHA RAD 1C LLC, namely James Lee White Manor, Stephen Crane Village, Mineral Living Gardens, and Riverside Villa, also known as Walsh Shore. The designation of NPG as an independent entity to perform the obligations described in 24 CFR 93.59E and applicable HUD regulations. The execution of management agreements between NPG and owner entity pursuant to which the NPG will serve as half owner under the half contract and sign RAD use agreements and perform HQS inspection of the properties, and for the performance of all other actions and services required to facilitate the foregoing transaction. And 2, it's a long one, Board of Commissioners hereby authorize and directs the executive director of this designee to approve, execute, deliver such certificates, agreements, and documents required to effectuate the transaction. And this resolution on behalf of NHA and each owner entity as the sole member thereof, execution, delivery of such documents by the director of his designee with such provisions and amendments as necessary to effectuate the transaction shall be exclusive evidence of such approval, and no further action from the Board of Commissioners shall be required to authorize, approve, or ratify the approval and execution of such documents. But a lawyer definitely wrote that.
Motion.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Council. Right,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk,
Yes.
Chairman Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes. And I apologize for when I'm order, I just go back just for the record. Resolution H 24-14 2021-02. If there is no objection, I request to pull this resolution for further deliberation to, or postpone the resolution to December 4 meeting. H 24-14-11-3. Once again, if there's no objection, I request to pull this item for further consideration and revision to be reviewed at December 4 meeting. Any objection to that request? So, keep moving on down the line. Resolution H 24-21-11-05. Resolution that the Newark Housing Authority Board of Commissioners amend Resolution H 24-27-06-03 and authorize the executive director to execute indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contracts to make any necessary provisions with the Block Construction Incorporated Option 1 Group for agency-wide vacant and occupied apartment unit rehabilitation program in general construction for an initial term of 2 years with an option to renew for 1 year period. Not to exceed 3 years or $10,600,000.
Question, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner,
I forgot to ask prior, just wanted to bring it back up. Are we making sure that we are collecting before and after photos of all the work and having an inspection survey in place?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
No, first, Mr. Thomas.
Yes. We create a document, so after they finish completing, we go through with our checklist to make sure everything is done in the unit.
Are they formulated booklet for everyone, for example, 46 10th grade? Here's the 5 apartments before and after.
Yes.
Or,
They provide pictures and videos,
yeah.
WhatsApp and Dropbox to them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That includes the resolutions for this evening.
No, we got to move. Oh, we have to move.
Yes, that may help.
Yeah.
If there's no other readiness, I would need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Commissioner Carter,
Aye.
Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
Commissioner Hall. Chairman Lowe.
yes.
Motion
That
carried.
includes all resolutions. Adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Carter,
Aye.
Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall, Chairman Lowe.
We adjourn at 6:52.
Yeah.